For the African continent to attain self-sufficiency in crop, fish, and animal production, there is a need for countries in the region to come together and increase production, processing, and marketing of agricultural products. It is in recognition of this that there was a recent dialogue of the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, AU-IBAR. The event held in Abuja. Details of this meeting form part of our program tonight. In another development, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development recently held its 2022 Civil Service Award. 38 staff of the ministry were recognized for their outstanding services. Details of these two major events make up our program this evening. I am your guide, Gabriel Ojile. Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria will be back after this short break. Please stay tuned and keep watching.
Ensure that we provide the necessary policy direction that will truly position agriculture as the mainstay of our economy.
The federal government is removing obstacles and offering opportunities for self-employment, wealth creation, and food security in the Nigeria's agricultural sector.
Think farming, think agriculture.
Watch Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, showing on NTA Fridays at 8:30 p.m.
The program starts with the news. In our diary tonight, AU-IBAR delegates pay a courtesy visit to Agric Minister, pledge support to Nigeria. Agric Minister pledges support for Oil Palm Summit to enhance production. These and more stories coming up shortly. The delegates of the African Union Inter-African Animal Resources, AU-IBAR, recently paid a courtesy visit to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, and pledged to support the country through the Commission's projects on fisheries and aquaculture development. Speaking during the visit, the acting director of AU-IBAR, Nick Nwankpa, stated that Nigeria remains a key player in the development of aquaculture in the African continent, as the country is second to Egypt in fish production. Dr. Nwankpa added that the union would support the Nigerian government to benefit from the Fish Governance Project 2, which is geared towards enhancing fish production in Africa.
Presently, AU-IBAR is implementing three major projects. One is the Fish Gov 2, which is supported by the European Union. Another is enhancing conservation of aquatic biodiversity in Africa, which is supported by the Swedish government, and the final one is the implementation of the Africa Blue Economy, which is the supported by the Norway government. Now, Your Excellency, I wish to assure you that Nigeria will substantially benefit.
In his reaction, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, welcomed the delegates to Nigeria and assured them of the ministry's support to ensure that the Fish Governance Project Phase 2 sees the light of the day in Nigeria and other African countries. He added that Africans must synergize to improve on what they have been doing before seeking for help from other continents.
Africa, it's time that we do things for ourselves, even if we have partners like with EU, with the UN, with everybody. But I always say Africa should first stand for Africa. We have so much to do for ourselves and offer to the rest of the world.
In a bid to revamp the oil palm subsector in Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, has pledged to collaborate with relevant stakeholders in the oil palm industry in organizing the first Oil Palm Summit. The summit is expected to address challenges in the oil palm value chain. The minister disclosed this during a courtesy visit in his office in Abuja by different institutions and associations who are key players in the oil palm value chain. The minister lamented the drop in ranking of Nigeria as an oil palm producing country from number 1 in the 60s to number 5 in the world currently. Abubakar added that the ministry will do everything humanly possible to restore the lost glory of Nigeria in oil palm production.
For me here as a Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, I'm always willing and ready to work with associations, to work with organizations to make their trade better, to make Nigeria better. So I can assure you that you have asked, I can assure you that this ministry all the departments that are responsible for palm oil and even other service departments that can assist are ready, and I will do whatever it takes humanly possible to also make sure that something will turn around, and then the palm oil will even set the pace for other value chains to do something better.
Speaking earlier, the convener and team leader of the proposed Nigeria Oil Palm Summit, Fatai Afolabi, stated that Nigeria spends $500 million on importation of palm oil, and the summit would bring the stakeholders in research, production, processing, and marketing of oil palm together to chart a way forward for better production.
It's been a solid state for those of us critical stakeholders in the Nigerian oil palm industry, and we feel that we have to stem the tide of this degradation and come up with this summit. So stakeholders have come together, and this will be the first time that stakeholders will come together and unanimously agreeing to hold a talk.
The delegates further stated that the date of the summit would be communicated in due course, as efforts were still ongoing to get more international as well as other local stakeholders to partner and participate in the summit. The program is transforming agriculture in Nigeria in an effort to develop a framework for coordination among departments of the African Union Commission on Fisheries and Aquaculture. The African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, AU-IBAR, held a regular dialogue meeting recently in Abuja. In our next segment, we will highlight some challenges of the fisheries and aquaculture development in Africa, recommendations, and efforts of different stakeholders in collaboration with AU-IBAR to address these challenges. Keep watching.
Provide the front end. That is where
the stakeholders in this hall are members of Regional Economic Communities, RECs, and the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, AU-IBAR, that recently held a dialogue and sensitization meeting in Abuja between 13th to 17th June 2022. AU-IBAR is a specialized technical office of the African Union Commission, AUC, headed by the director, who reports directly to the AUC through Department of Rural Economy and Agriculture. AU-IBAR has a mandate to provide leadership in the development of animal resources such as livestock, fisheries, and wildlife across the entire African continent. The just concluded dialogue meeting was on the need to identify challenges in the development of fisheries and aquaculture in Africa. The meeting brought together stakeholders from centers of excellence in different African countries, research institutes, and universities in Africa that are into fisheries and aquaculture research, as well as representatives of regional economic communities such as Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, Arab Maghreb Union, UMA, Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, Community of Sahel-Saharan States, CENSAD, East African Community, EAC, Economic Community of Central African States, ECAS, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and Southern African Development Community, SADC.
So the objective of the dialogue are as follows: to appraise RECs on progress made of the project since the relaxation of some of COVID-19 rules by some member states. The second objective is to operationalize mechanisms for regular dialogue on issues of fishery and aquaculture, to share and elaborate on the approved 2020 work plan of the project, Fish Love 2 project, to also inform the RECs on the progress of implementation of the project, including lessons learned and challenges encountered.
The dialogue entailed an assessment of progress made by different countries and institutions in the development of fisheries and aquaculture in Africa. Nigeria is one of the leading countries in fish production in Africa. It occupies the second position after Egypt. This means that other African countries could learn from the experience of Nigeria in the fishery and aquaculture subsector. While welcoming the delegates to Nigeria, the Director, Fishery and Aquaculture, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, appreciated the AU-IBAR for the success of the Fish Governance Project Phase 1 and also disclosed some of the efforts of the Nigerian government in securing the fishery subsector in the country.
In the industrial sector, we have been able to license almost 164 fishing vessels that trawl the Nigerian territorial waters and the exclusive economic zone. And we have also installed vessel monitoring system here in Abuja and also one in Lagos to monitor the activities of the fishing vessels.
Different stakeholders identified challenges in implementing fishery projects in their various countries and the strategies that can be put in place to develop the fisheries and aquaculture sector in the African continent.
And on this network,
the Centers of Excellence identified a need for formal coordination among all the centers, recognition of centers by AU-IBAR, and the need for structure that will enhance sustainability of the center's impact in the Fish Governance 2 project and other projects that may come after.
the next issue is on the lack of operationalization structures for the Centers of Excellence. And the recommendation to address this is first of all to support, for AU-IBAR to support the Centers of Excellence with seed grants to set up their structures. This point is based on the fact that the Centers of Excellence at the moment are structured just to support the implementation of the project. And after the project, what happens to these centers? If they have been recognized by the AU-IBAR, they should have some structures put in place to show that they are centers of excellence and they are producing some sort of impact.
The Center for Excellence also stressed the need for standardization of research methodologies, capacity building, and knowledge transfer that would enhance fish production in the continent. The regional economic communities voiced the opinion that the African continent can surmount challenges in the fisheries and aquaculture through collaboration among the regions, as well as the involvement of RECs in the activities of the AU-IBAR projects on fisheries and others.
Involve RECs in planning and execution of projects. The modalities will be agreed upon. So, the 5 recommendations are touching on enhancing coordination, capacity building of the RECs, and enhancing participation of RECs in implementation of this project.
After a series of presentations by the stakeholders, the recommendations by the regional economic communities and the Center to Excellence were adopted for onward action.
Creation of network platform by AU-IBAR for Centers of Excellence. Third, dedicated webpage on the AU-IBAR website to enhance visibility on all Centers of Excellence. And I think one of the items that we have during this meeting is to present you the communication and visibility plan of the project, of the FishGov 2. So this is something that will be feasible. Then the third one, the fourth, sorry, is support of Centers of Excellence with seed grants to set up their structures. Fifth one, orientation of the Centers of Excellence on FishGov 2 projects, clarification on what has to be done by the Centers of Excellence.
The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, who also graced the meeting, appreciated the AU-IBAR for considering Nigeria to host the meeting.
Fish farm clusters to increase fish production and encourage the teeming youth and women. And finally, lake enhancement project to increase fish production and make for sustainable livelihood for the fisher folks. All these programs are tailored towards job and wealth creation, poverty reduction, arrest and prevention of youth restiveness, and food nutrition security.
Shedding more light on the impact of the meeting, the Acting Director, African Union, Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, said that the meeting will help the African continent to be more coordinated in tackling the challenges identified. He also said it would give the African continent one voice in the intercontinental fora.
Few of the gaps identified: one, there is no harmony. Most people have different regulations of fisheries. Two, we are not represented in the international fora, conferences on fisheries and the like. Three, we do not have a common voice. Having a common voice in the international community is very important. So by this dialogue, we are bringing them together so that we will all speak with one voice.
The European Union and the Food and Agricultural Organization, who have been partners of the AU-IBAR's projects, also expressed optimism at the level of progress made so far and the need for Africa to strategize in solving its problems using its technologies.
When I look back, since 2005, we don't have the global policy framework in Africa. And with these first phases of the Fish Governance Project, we elaborated one instrumental continental only document that we call Policy Framework and Reform Strategy. We can bring all partners on board to see concretely how we can work together. And specifically in fish production on the field, I think this project will bring now the private sector on board, because you know fishery activity is private activity. So we bring them and to support them through this project, enhance their capacity.
It's important to realize that although aquaculture is a technology-driven sector, it's important to realize that Africa needs its own technology as well to move forward in this sector. We cannot simply rely on solutions from other parts of the world, because Africa has unique challenges, and because we have unique challenges, we need unique technologies to grow our aquaculture sector.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, and we just showcased the meeting of AU-IBAR and other relevant stakeholders toward the development of the fishery and aquaculture sector in Africa. Another major event that needs to be brought to your notice is the 2022 Civil Service Award for staff of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. It was a moment of excitement and motivation for the staff of the ministry. Let's catch the great moment in our next segment.
The management and staff of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development on Thursday, 16th of June 2022, converged at the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute's guest house in Abuja for the 2022 Civil Service Award by the ministry. 38 outstanding members of staff of the ministry received various awards across different categories. The awards cut across the Directorate Cadre, Middle-Level Cadre, and the Junior Cadre.
My passionate appeal.
Earlier on, while addressing the awardees and other members of staff, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, noted that the award should be seen as a motivation for staff to do more. He also shared how awards given to him during his education and work motivated him.
Expected change outside is to be realized. I congratulate the awardees for achieving this feat. You should not look at what you are about to be given as meager, but the recognition which many could not get. At this point, let me tell you a little bit about myself when I was a student in the United States. You know, in US, when you are living in the hostel, you can engage in small jobs to make a little bit more money. And I decided to take a job in the hostel as a cleaner. And indeed, the management will always recognize my floor as the shiniest floor. And that is something to date. When I remember, I still smile. I was the one with the shiniest floor. It's a recognition, and that is what really made it important to me. Not that I'm cleaning floor, but that I am doing it and doing it well.
Abubakar urged the awardees and the entire staff to always strive for excellence in their service to the nation.
I told this challenge to both professional and service departments. The challenge is, what did you do differently within your schedule that makes the difference in the discharge of that responsibility?
The Permanent Secretary Ernest Afolabi Umahihe also assured the staff that state-of-the-art facilities will be given to them to perform better.
The management is committed to ensuring the entire workforce of the ministry are organized and trained to give a first-class service through capacity building that will increase productivity amongst officers of the ministry. With the support of the Honorable Minister, the ministry's staff clinic was given a new facelift by providing equipment to the tune of some millions, apart from the drug revolving fund of 5 million naira.
Other awardees who spoke with our correspondent include Southwest Zonal Director Oguntuyi Abimbola Omolara Folashade, Chief Executive Officer, Human Resource Management Ojo Michael, and Senior Clerical Officer, Permanent Secretary Office Aina Rufus, who were awarded for their punctuality, accuracy, innovation, hard work, honest, dedication, and commitment exemplary conduct, respectively.
One of outstanding.
They expressed their joy, appreciation, motivation, and gave this advice for the colleagues.
This award is an award of enablement. With this award, I think I am going to be more dedicated, more punctual to my work. And my message to my fellow colleagues is that wherever you find yourself, be dedicated to work.
I am happy and highly motivated. I'm ready to put more into my job.
It's as if I'm still dreaming. But you see, the bottom line is, in life, you do things and you will not even know people are noticing. So I can just say it is God that rewards hard work. So it's just God's reward. And I'm most grateful to people that one way or the other have noticed what I'm doing.
My advice is for them to put out more efforts, and they should not be in a haste, because where you are working, you are being monitored by the management. So when you are moving up and down, or the management assign a duty to you, you have to be prudent, you have to determine and be early in your service and deliver your service when due.
There is always a reward for diligence, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, through the Civil Service Award, has demonstrated its commitment to the welfare of staff via motivation. While we congratulate the awardees, we must draw the curtains on this episode. Join us again, same time, same station, next week for another interesting package. Until then, bye for now.